Listen to me. When they were doing this paddy rice, whatever, that Emefiole took money from the African Development Bank, where Akinwumi Adesina, the former agriculture minister in Nigeria, is their president. Under this Bokwari, they took over 1.4 trillion naira worth of loan from African Development Bank. And Bokwari ensured that 90% of that money was given to the farmers in northern Nigeria. But what they didn't tell you, part of what made Nigeria lost all that money was that the territory where those farms are no longer controlled by Nigeria. The farmers in some of these communities, they are harvesting those farms. They are harvesting them for the terrorists. And these guys know about that. Now, the guy come on social media, come on the media to tell you the plan that they have, that everybody should give them time. You see why I don't believe them? Do you see why I have trust issue? Do you see why some of you will be like, why are you always like, procrastinating? Let's give them benefit of doubt. I know them very well that everything they say is not for any reason worth the piece of paper they write them on. It is all nonsense. Look at them very well and then come back and tell me, why do you think you always get the same result from them all the time? All talks, no action, while lives are continually destroyed because you don't pay attention to them. A lot of you pay attention to the nonsense they are saying. But look at them deeper. These are empty rogues making promises to you while they are ruining your lives because they are mostly clueless, greedy, selfish, and they don't care. So now the guy they read, so they talk about commercial farming, that the council also met. They will do commercial waiting. For where? Where farmers are being chased away by terrorists. The terrorism was so good in Nigeria that instead of us to have a special prison for terrorists who have committed economic jihad against Nigeria, religious destruction, lives and properties destroyed, still being destroyed. People who are supposed to be committed to asylum, lifetime in jail for their crimes. Oh, Baba, now padi we they do, we they forgive terrorists and we they jail activists. You know that? Activists are jailed. Terrorists are celebrated, kind of. How many of you know that terrorists in Nigeria, repentant terrorists in Nigeria get paid salary? How many of you know that? You don't know? Okay, I'm coming back to the palliative, at the subsidy palliative. Mo will just dash down to that same northern Nigeria, where repentant terrorists, they are protesting the unpaid salary, 30,000 naira salary for June and July. Immediately Bokwari left. It be like say they run the whole repentant terrorists, yo. Repentant terrorists who are supposed to be in jail. They were on the streets demanding for their rights. Why won't you pay them? Tell me. When one of their governors, the governor of the state where 36 Nigerian soldiers or military personnel were slaughtered, were butchered, and we saw their videos online. And the governor came out and said, have you forgotten? This is what their governor said. Oh, we'll go back to the protest soon. I told you, I have a lot of gist for you. And I could be going left, right, center, and everywhere. You shall just follow me until you are bored. Their governor, Baba, in the same Niger state.
And we have come to the villa now, my senator, the member House of Representatives, to also thank Mr. President for his support, and we need a lot of collaboration with both the local communities, the presidency, and even the state. We are looking at two options. First is non-kinetic. As a government, we have put in machineries to start talking to the bandits, the other elements that are not in tandem with living peacefully. So as a government, we've created a Ministry of Nomadic and Pastoral Affairs to look at the issues for the Fulani headsmen. You need to understand that Niger State has the largest congregation in the world of Fulani headsmen. Niger State is 8.3 million hectares of land with bodies of water. The pastoral environment is very good for grazing. A lot of Fulani across the world, not just Africa, converge in Niger State. So we don't want them to leave. So we don't want any major military activities. We want to talk to them. But if we don't get to that level, then probably we have to go fully military.
AIT. Thanks. They have already opened the Ministry of Nomadic issue. So the Fulanis, who are highly concentrated in Niger State, the terrorists who have the capacity to shoot down government fighter jets severally in that same Niger, Baba, who have killed many military personnel. What did they get? A ministry for them, a commissioner in charge of Fulani nomadic. And they don't want any military action. I hope all these Igbo governors are also watching this old drama, by the way, just on the side, yo. Igbo governors, especially Igbo governors. One hand you are blowing cold. The other hand you are blowing hot. You are willingly inviting these murderous criminals to your region to kill your youth by naming them whatever you want to name them enough to have a reason to kill them. Abi, they are opening ministry for those who have the capacity to shoot down military fighter jets. And they are still getting paid as well. Seriously. Aba, when they didn't pay them in June and July. I'm sorry if you don't understand Hausa Abi Fulani. Here you have the repentant terrorist protesting unpaid salaries. Come back. Repentant Boko Haram. Every time you read about the horrible, gory reports of the terrorist victims in Nigeria, women, children, okay, who have been slaughtered needlessly by these terrorists. If you are looking for those responsible for putting Nigeria on the map as the terrorist capital of Africa, second most terrorized people in the world, a country that is not supposedly fighting any war, but hundreds of people are being slaughtered across the country, needlessly, violently. Those are the people responsible, but they are repentant. And one other kind of ironical thing that is also playing out these days, ladies and gentlemen, is that you don't have a right to go out there, you Nigerians, so you that are supposed to be Nigerians, so in that same your country, you've committed no crime or what have you. You want better government, you want this and that. You can't go out there and protest like that, without seeing the soldiers, the military, all of them in combat gears, ready to pounce, ready to kill. You know what I mean? Like battle ready. It's impossible, is it? For those who were there, they were there to give them guard and all that. And gradually, protest is becoming not an haram anymore. So let's go back to the palliative. Do you know that if you are looking for one of those most confused hypocrites in this our lifetime, you're going to see the northern jihadists, because that's what I see them as. You're going to see a northern jihadist that will tell you, especially when they have this mixture of Fulani and Hausa in them, they could tell you how born to rule they are. Look at us. You can all see all your nonsense. Now we go still continue to rule you. I'm talking about Isa, Musa. We be saying that the same challenges, me and them, they face. So we are nobodies to these criminals. So, but because it's Hausa Fulani, it kind of have this mentality that, we are born to rule. We will rule you. We will lead you forever. Anybody cannot be anything in this country but us. Born to rule. Then you have these Southerners too, who somehow have also kind of agreed that even if you want to do anything better, even if you want the better person to rule Nigeria, if the North says no, if you say you want a referendum, a new constitution, anything that is not in the interest of the North, there's nothing the South can do. There are many of us who grew up with that belief, because it's almost true. You know, it's kind of almost true, right? And that is why you will see every Southern criminal politician go into the North. I mean, Southern criminal going to the North to go and kiss the ring of these despotic criminals from that part too. It's like, you know, kind of believe that you have to have the blessing of the North. So therefore, when they say the northern Nigeria is Islamic region, when you say no, it is not, that is blasphemy. Because how dare you? We just told you. Whatever we say to you is what it is. How dare you challenge it? We'll kill you for it. Kind of, you know what I mean? That belief. Then generally, a lot of us know that with available data, statistics, reliable ones, northern Nigeria remains the poorest part of Nigeria, even though if you start counting those who have ruled Nigeria, who have had the chance of ruling Nigeria, out of the 63 years of Nigeria existence, Nigeria has been ruled by northerners for over 47 to 48 years. Out of 63 years. But yet, northern Nigeria remains the poorest part of Nigeria because their investment is never in their people. The pride in seeing their people in what they call the Almajiri system, beggarly system, poorest beggarly system, right? Kind of, right? It's called their culture, and therefore, they built a system around it. They called it quota system. Quota system that says the northern Nigeria are inferior in everything. For them to meet up, they need some level of systemic jump start. That's what we grew up knowing. You want to go to unity school? No, you can't use the same entrance score like those from northern Nigeria. Their criminal leaders ensure that systemic backwardness, and it's intentional. Okay? The brain in the head of a northern child is not different from the brain in the head of a southern child. It is what they are exposed to. And when the system is intentionally going to make them they're poorly educated, there's nothing you can do. So that systemic arrangement put the North in a way that when they say, they are inadequate. Oh, they don't have the brain. Oh, they don't have the sense. If you need 100 score to enter the unity school from southern Nigeria, a northerner will enter the same unity school with just 2. It was so obvious that they built a system that when they are teaching English, they have to teach them in Hausa. When they are teaching mathematics, they have to teach them in Hausa. When they are teaching them anything at all, they have to teach them in their local language. It could have been better if there are actually real investments in that, but there was no plan to invest in it or make them better. So over time, that tag of northern Nigeria is poor is something that even the northerners themselves, they are not ashamed to say. Do you understand? Remember what I told you? We are born to rule. All of you can continue to shout and all of that, and we go still rule you. That is Musa that nobody gives a damn about. But because he's a Hausa Fulani, he believes that he is born to rule. In fact, in southern Nigeria, southerners believe that Musa that is selling recharge card, if he go back to Kano, he can become a senator, even though he didn't go to any school. So a southerner believe that they have the advantage over them, and there's nothing they can do about it. But yeah, like I said, everybody believes and everybody knows the northern Nigeria, terrorism capital of Nigeria, is the place that puts Nigeria on the map as the terrorist capital of Africa. The same northern Nigeria with the poor leadership that has affected Nigeria over time, it became the symbol of the poverty of Nigeria. Now that Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, right? Thanks to this northern part of Nigeria. Everybody knows it. But remember, because of the quota system on education, quota system in civil service, quota system in political posting, quota system in border demarcation, quota system in state creation, quota system in local government creation, and on like that, quota system in sharing allocation. All of this quota is also quota system that has also created quota billionaire Dangote. You all know Dangote is a quota system billionaire that doesn't really compete. He didn't make his money through any competition. He made this money through the systemic monopoly, which is solely for him because he is from northern Nigeria. Now, with that, the richest black man on earth, Dangote, quota system billionaire, that money does not reflect in the lives of an average northerner from Nigeria. Write that down. When it comes to the Nigeria oil rigs, when you talk about oil in Nigeria, the oil is in a part of Nigeria, which is the eastern part of Nigeria today. Anyway, the Niger Deltans will say, no, we are not Easterners. I know, I don't want to start argument. But you know what I'm saying? That's the part where the oil come from. Anambra, Imo, Delta, even us in Southwest too. Ondo, then Bayelsa, go on to Port Harcourt. Well, you know one thing that is so kind of ridiculous is that the major oil rigs in Nigeria are not owned by the people from southern Nigeria or the people from the oil producing region. No. Over time, Nigeria Oil has been a bit of a thank you compensation for the elite, especially those who actually takes power. And because, like I said, out of 63 years, northern Nigerians or northerners have been in charge of Nigeria for over 47 years. Now, 47 years means every 10 years, they could renew and give it to their friends, girlfriends, and concubines, and all that. And that's exactly what they have been doing with Nigeria Oil. And those are those who now bring in the Shell, Chevron, Texaco, and the rest of them to come and extract the oil and give them royalty. And that's how they became billionaires. Now, with this billion they have everywhere, this family, that family in northern Nigeria, billion. Northern Nigeria is still the poverty capital of Nigeria. But that depends on who is saying it. Me, I can say it. Shut up your mouth, you this Yoruba man. You can say it. They say, okay, it's all right. But somebody that shouldn't say it, or the people that shouldn't say it, they are the Igbos. Someone that shouldn't even say or mention poverty in northern Nigeria is Peter Obi. How dare you? Northern Nigeria can feed the rest of Nigeria. This Peter Obi has finally offended us. You remember when Peter Obi said he was going to start the fight against poverty from northern Nigeria because northern agriculture is going to be the new oil. And northern Nigeria have the resources to become the richest part of Nigeria, defeat poverty. For days, everybody just the foam for mouth. Peter Obi called them poor. How dare he? He will never be president. Look at this man. How dare you? This Peter Obi, this man is so useless. How can you go and call us poor? And everybody was like, hello, Kilon go on. Poor now. I mean, he's not lying. Poor now. Like you are poor now. Is it just because of the person saying it? Everybody knows you are poor. You put Nigeria on the map. For terrorism, northern Nigeria. For poverty, northern Nigeria. And for 8 years, you know, they shout Sai Baba as Sai barbarians. Everywhere. So somebody said, I will fight poverty from northern Nigeria. I will reduce this. Hey, Peter Obi call us poor. We can feed you. We can shake. You are poor. The dust never settle. They come here say, Tifnubu they share 5 truck of rice. Whether you are from Bayelsa, 5 truck. Whether you are from, I hate this moss. I've been a moth that they call her. All this labalaba thing, see her. And it is the light that is attracting it, I believe. A distraction. Everybody collect your 5 truck and just go and share your rice. Almost since yesterday. I saw tears that they see everywhere. Guess who are those tears coming from? The rich northerners. Kelo too far, why the fight? Don't fight yourself. Don't beat yourself. Calm down. Explain yourself. What is going on? Tell me what happened. It was, come here. What is it? Can you believe it? This Tifnumbu is the real hunger. Under Bokwari, you know if you talk like that, shut up your mouth. Don't talk to Tifnumbu like that. This was me fighting on your behalf, in case if you don't know. Like, don't talk to him like that. What happened? So Tinubu knows that there are more poor people in Kano alone than the entire poor people in the entire South, Niger Delta, the entire Niger Delta. But Atlas Tinubu gave 5 truck to Bayelsa, and he gave 5 truck to Kano. He gave 5 truck to Borno, and he also gave 5 truck to. What kind of thing is that? Does anybody not know that the poorest people is in northern Nigeria? How could you do that? Did you just say poorest people in northern? Sure, okay. You rich people, very rich. When did the northern Nigeria become poor? They're saying that because of the trucks of rice. Okay. I mean, I didn't expect you to begin to tear cloth because of truck of rice. So they will give you 5 billion too now. In fact, that is so annoying. Kilo today, 5 billion, 5 truck. Kilo happen. It's an insult. Bayelsa state population, Kano state population is ×5 of Bayelsa. Bayelsa will collect 5 billion. So Kano self go collect 5 billion. What kind of fairness is that? We know this Tinubu is there to make us poorer. Okay. But Bayelsa, they had, or should I say the people of Niger Delta, they had more than 70% of what is supposed to be your resources before Bokwari plundered and destroyed everything. And they started printing money. Then they contribute to the money that they share. How much Kano they contribute? How much Borno they contribute? What is it they are taking from Bauchi Gombe? Tell us what the Zamfara and Nasarawa are contributing, so that we can then wait. Calm down. You guys are rich. Where is Dangote? Why are you fighting over rice? How much is 5 billion? Ridiculous, Abi? Yes. You can say they are poor and you'll be fine if you are not Igbo. For those Yoruba Ronu, and the rest of them, they share their own 6 bowl of rice in Kwara right now. For those, they don't even know, should we share it or just cook it and serve everybody? Once the food finish, it's okay, if we want cook now we'll go give us money for ingredients. We go contribute money to make ingredients to cook this rice. No, me, I no deal at the go house. So no, don't worry, we'll keep the rice. They said they have also given them 5 billion. They will still give us money. Anything they give to all of us, we can contribute that money, put it together, cook the rice, buy small ingredients, and then serve everybody. That is your palliative, like that, plate of rice. That's the best. Everyone can actually have a taste of the rice, by the way. Because I don't think they are going to say, yeah, everybody, open your palm. Because that's how you can possibly share, and everybody will have a share, right? You don't go there with a bag. They will put spoon. 1 teaspoonful. They put your own for your hand. You must not drop, close them very well, until you get to your house. And or if you have your own bowl, they say, oh yeah, 3 spoons. Palliative for subsidy remover. So gradually, protest is coming back. And I bet these ones were told, if they could go out and protest, maybe Kolu can increase the money. Now they are calling him. In Niger Republic, they call Tinubu Ebola. In northern Nigeria, where protest used to be Haram, protest is coming back gradually. If repentant Boko Haram can protest, that only protest the more. It is all coming together. This time around, they have a song for him, and they said Tinubu means hunger. Now, in northern Nigeria, I can tell you these people are so angry with their children. And if I say the Shege Bansa, it's playing out already. Faster than expected or planned, Abi. Look at this.
Ni ma ina kwance ne ba da lafiya. Yara na biyar marayu ne babansu Allah ya mai rasuwa, kanin ma ya rasu, babban wan ma ya rasu. Ba wani mai tallafa mana.
Wasu min suka sha suka mutu?
Kwanan su hudu ba su ci abinci ba, sai baba su ta dafa ruwan zafi da gishiri saboda sun ishe ta da kuka, cikin su ba komai, suka dafa ruwan zafi da gishiri suka sha, duk sun mutu malam.
Iki muke nema, Allah ka taimaka mana, ya taimaka mana. Muna neman abinci, ba mu da abinci, ga yara yan dudu don Allah don annabi a taimaka mana mu ma.
Masu bibiyar mu kamar waɗanda suka fara bayani a baya kuma suna ihun ƙananan yare da manya suna cewa yunwa ta dame su. Wannan abun ya faru ne a cikin garin Kaduna a ƙaramar hukumar Igabi da ke nan wato cikin garin Kaduna a Rigasa. To bari mu je mu ji cikakken abin da ke damu waɗannan bayan Allah da kuma damuwar da suke ciki.
Tunda nake a rayuwata shekara na 62 ban taba ganin an sai garin tuwo naira 1400 ba, ban taba ganin an sai shinkafa naira 1700 ba. Yunwa ta dame mu, taliya naira 500. Dan Allah dan annabi muna kai kukan mu ga mai girma ya sunan shi shugaban kasan Tunugu, muna kai kuka gurin Tunugu ya taimaka mana ya dubi girman Rigasa. Muna cikin wahala, muna cikin tashin hankali, ciwo ya dame mu, ba kudin magani, ba abin da za mu ci, mazajen mu ba aikin yi, ƴaƴan mu ba aikin yi, in sun taba a kama su a musu cin mutunci. Dan Allah dan annabi a taimaka mana, a ba mu ƴaƴan mu aikin yi da suke taimaka mana muke cin abinci. Mun kawo kuka gare ka Tunugu ka taimaka mana.
Ina kira ne ga gwamnati ta duba halin rayuwar da ake ciki yanzu na a anguwan nan namu. Mutane sukan kwana da yunwa, wasu kwanan su 5, wasu kwanan su 4, a kwana a wuni ba a ci ba a sha ba su da abin da za su ci. Sannan in kana da ɗan kuɗi kalilan abinci baya sayuwa. Shinkafa yanzu nan wanda talaka yake iya siye 1,500 ne, garin tuwo 1,600 da 700. Don Allah don annabi ina za a da mu ne, saboda Allah mu dai tun da muke a duniya shekara.
Aládùn ànábì nítorí Ọlọ́run torí ànábì. We are now boiling water with salt to feed our children. We can no longer afford to eat the normal tuwo, to eat the normal tuwo shinkafa. Do aládùn ànábì ẹ̀dẹ̀jọ́ torí Ọlọ́run torí ànábì báyìí. Tinubu, hunger want to kill us. And they told us that when it comes in, everything is going to be better. But look at it today. So me, I know that do Anobi. You don't take. Mom, see me. My mom could be taken for a comedian too, by the way. You know, she had this sense of humor, of just throwing word. And you begin to wonder, what did you say? Like, what does that mean? You know, sometimes you'll be wondering, what language is that? And I was a little boy, right? So I grew up around that kind of environment. Okay. So it was like, you know, talking to somebody and say, do Allah, do Anobi, do Allah, do Anobi. And you'll be like, what was that? And she was like, I'm just telling him to please. You just saying to, you know, Abuki, and you're telling him, do Allah, do Anobi. What was that? You know, that was my mom of blessed memory, honestly. She was a comedian, kind of, you know, in that phrase, right? But that woman was like, oh, this is not a funny matter. People boiling salt, water and salt. I remember when, in fact, it wasn't a good one, okay? But I'll talk it as if, like, you know, something you've seen very well, even in plays, right? Where people are so poor that they have nothing to eat. And the mother and the father, they know they couldn't feed the children that night. So they'll put a pot on the fire, and put a stone in it, or a few stones in it, to make it look like they are cooking. So the children will be waiting, hungry, tired, waiting for the food to be ready. There will not be any food, but at least they are seeing a pot on fire. We'll wait for mama to finish. We'll wait for her to finish. So in that process, right, some of them will slip off, all of them. And that's exactly what these poor parents want them to. Just slip off while you are waiting for your food. By the time you open your eyes, it may be the following day. And when we get to that day, we'll figure it out what to eat again. Do you understand? Now, that when that woman or those women were talking about how they have been like suffering, and you could see it all over their faces. Like everyone else. So they are senators, they are governors, they are there sharing the billions. They are hearing about them. But they are never in their plan. But for election, Abi, if it was an election, they can give every state 50 trucks of rice, and they will get them 50 trucks for each state. If they declare a run, if the court declare a run in this their election, you see all this rice and money that is now looking like, you will see rice everywhere. You see food everywhere. It's just so unfortunate that the people that stole the Corona palliative, rebranded some of them, sold them off, or shared them as souvenirs. And the people were left to figure it out themselves. The same people are coming back with palliative, and look at them. So when you look at those people, when you look at, that is the face of an average Nigerian. Not those ones you are seeing on Instagram, those ones you are seeing on Facebook, those ones you are seeing everywhere that are still like, when I see get data, they abuse people online. You see get data, they defend APC. That kind of those people. No. You see those faces you saw? That is what an average people in Nigeria are really, really experiencing. It is a total hopeless situation. Totally. So now they are protesting from northern Nigeria, even though they haven't protested in southern Nigeria. All right? But I am going to let you listen to what Pastor Bakari had to say about this palliative or not. But let me quickly say a big thanks to the following people. Chike. Now I know that it's Chikelue. So Chikelue, my brother, from Edmonton in Canada. I got your message, yo. Support for Yoruba Union school kids. Thanks a lot, Mayego. All right, I got your message. K. Akinola, I got your message too. Your donation. I also got yours. Olumide Akin, you know yourself. Thank you. I also got your message as well. Badewa Olakunle. All of this on PayPal. And I think that is okay. Somebody also. Omolara? Fagbu. Okay, you know yourself too if you are watching. I got your message almost 10 days ago. You did give. So in all, I think, yeah. So I can say I have received a total of £193 from all of you towards the Yoruba Union on PayPal. So thank you. Very much appreciated, okay? But Pastor Bakari, let's call him Bakari tonight. Pastor Bakari, who had this to say to call you on this palliative thing. Yeah.
That governance under the new administration is not going in the right direction. First, Pastor Bakari laments the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy on Nigerians.
Mr. President, even though you have announced some palliatives, let me remind you that palliatives cannot address the root cause of the problem. Therefore, we demand that you address the root cause of the problem. Take the yoke off the neck of the poor, go after the looters, recover the loot, and retool it to the benefit of Nigerians. In simple terms, Mr. President, kill corruption, non-Nigerians.
In the aftermath of the recent coup d'etat in Niger, the clergyman faults President Tinubu for leading the proposed plan of military intervention by ECOWAS, describing it as an evidence of the president's impulsive leadership style.
By placing military invasion on the table from the very start, before subsequently exploring diplomatic options with the coup plotters in the Republic of Niger, President Tinubu once again put the cart before the horse, thus placing Nigeria and the sub-region in a precarious situation. While we condemn the spate of coup d'etats in West Africa, we recognize that the situation calls for deep introspection on the part of African leaders and makes even more urgent the case for good governance. The call upon a government that is asking the poor to tighten their belts cannot afford a bloated waistline. A reduction in the size of government will ultimately translate to a reduction in the cost of governance. By nominating 48 ministers, the president is about to set a record for the highest number of ministers since 1999. This is not the kind of record expected of a supposed reform-minded government. In a world of cutting-edge nations, in which governance is becoming lean and agile, what does the president need 48 ministers? Or a cabinet of close to 70 persons for, other than the distribution of patronage? It is hypocritical for a government that has subjected Nigerians to untold hardship by adopting neoliberal policy prescriptions to then turn around and expand the size of government, thereby violating a core aspect of the same neoliberal principles. That, Mr. President, does not constitute genuine reforms. It is governance by political convenience. Truth be told, certain ministerial appointments and that of the current APC chairman by consensus illustrate the error that proceeds from the ruler, as stated by the preacher in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, 5-7. He reads, and I quote, "There is an evil I've seen under the sun, as an error proceeding from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, while the rich sit in a lowly place. I've seen servants on horses, while princes walk on the ground like servants." It does appear, Mr. President, that by your appointments, there's a reward for bad behavior and mediocrity in our polity.
Incumbent traditional prime minister, His Royal Highness Igwe Dr. Honorable Engineer Pastor, His Excellency Ambassador Igwe Uwezuoke, eze onye mepimu nke izizi, African tallest man, otu onye na-ekwomu olu a osisi kankwụ ọkwụrụ ọka, fine man without pimple, ọ natara dike mma nke mbụ, okwuru ọra dike erigharịrị, otigbu ụdị mkpa dị na nwata ekwe.
Do you know why I played that, right? I have been reading your comments about Tunde Bakarum. Now, it is more like Lamba and all that. You know, you can add his voice to it. I mean, when you pick people who speak out, right? You should not leave him out whenever he does, you know, whenever he does speak out, right? And he was talking about those who told you that you should endure, but they are having over-bloated cabinets. Not that it is quite new. It is very much relative, you would say. We're talking about the cabinet. Manuel Ferreira, thank you very much for that, by the way. That's very kind of you. Yeah? You know, sometimes I get this vibe from my, you know, from the Mayegun's people, and they're everywhere, right? That whenever they are feeling generous, right, you can begin to see the different kind of colors of this super chat and all that there. All right. And sometimes I kind of see it as if like I was probably like I'm talking to you directly right now. We're all here sitting together, and then just feel like, oh man, this guy is good, man. This guy is good, right? You know what? Here, kind of, you know. And I don't know what that vibe will be that will get you that much. And I love it anyway. But if you are looking for a way to support Mayegun, right? You can be a member of my YouTube channel, okay? You can be a monthly member. You can be, you know, and you can cancel that anytime too. I've had people who actually does that on a steady. That is direct support, like every other support. And if you really, really want to make me feel so special, I'm going to say, please support Yoruba Union. Give your penny to the union. I do the same thing too. And that would mean so much to me. I'm serious. I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you do normally, but if you really want to say, how can I make this Mayegun know how much I really appreciate him? Give your contribution to the union. We have people who are actually doing that. We have people who are actually working for us as well. They also get paid. We ensure of that. So thank you to all of you all the time. Let's go back to it. Talking about appointments, 48 ministers, 70 special advisors, and on like that, for the same people who are telling you to endure the hardship for some time and all that. To make it worse, well, is it worse enough? To make it worse, they appointed this man as your minister of youth. Okay? Now, that kind of triggered a new debate. All right? It triggered a new debate, kind of like people were like, let's be this. So, in one of the one of the TV interview where Adeseye Ogunlewe, former minister of works in Nigeria under Obasanjo, about what be this now? Why they will give a 70 years old man as the youth? You know what Ogunlewe said? Ogunlewe said, if they had given the ministerial position to a young person, that the youth will not respect him. Sure you get? But now that the youth have somebody that is their grandfather, they will respect him. And it will then, no, I don't know how to say it. Ma go and play you that, okay? Adeseye Ogunlewe talking about Tifnumbu's ministers at the Arise News studio earlier. Listen to this.
You do that. Let me just pick you up on what you said earlier regarding the Minister of Youth in that ministry.
Thank you very much, Senator Ogunlewe, and good to have you on the show today. I'd like to ask you, in terms of the appointment of the Minister of Youth, I'm sure you've probably heard the uproar and the conversations around the fact that a nearly 60-year-old Abubakar Momo has been appointed as the Minister of Youth. What do you make of this? Do you think it doesn't matter? It's his experience, even though some people have said, he was once the president of the student union in Uniben when he was a student there. But does that qualify him to be the Minister of Youth? Or do you think, as part of the plans of the president in including younger people in his cabinet, he ought to have gone for a vibrant, younger man or woman with fresh ideas?
Honestly, Mr. Momo is about the best man for that job. You know, it is leadership we are talking about. To at least mentor the youths. Can the youths mentor themselves? What are they going to be looking up to? Who? You have to look up to a leader that will be your role model. So that is Mr. Momo for you. A very, very, a gentleman of the sort. So the youths should just learn from him.
You do that. Let me just pick you up on what you said earlier regarding the Minister of Youth. In that ministry, you're saying mentorship. Young Nigerians today look at people like myself with gray hair and people like yourself who are older than me and say that we don't need you to mentor us. We know what we want, and the way we deliver results on it to show that we're ready to do our things our own way is look at what they do in the area of technology, in the area of entertainment, like Davido, like Wizkid, and so on. They know what they want and they know what they can do. So how can you possibly say to them that it is okay to have somebody that they should look up to when they don't see what that person is going to put on the table for them, like my colleague Ayo said? How do you respond to them, sir?
The youth should prepare whatever they want from the Ministry of Youth. They need a leadership. They cannot be talking to their own, peer, somebody that is of the same. Where would the respect come from? The people in the ministry, Some of them have been there for 30 years. They are not young people. So it is the program that is for the youth. The people who implement that program are elderly people. Unless you want to remove all the civil servants in the Ministry of Youth and bring all the young people, you meet all aged people there too, experienced, exposed. The youth should cultivate the habit of learning history. What have they been doing? Yes, they've not done it right. How can we add value? What can we do? It's not for you to get rid of all the elders. When there is problem, who are you going to talk to? Our tradition, our culture. Remember the elderly in the community. You cannot kill all of them at the same time. It has to be gradual. You know they are in a hurry, but they should be able to be in a hurry to learn. Learn, make mistake, and then you will take over eventually. But not to say arbitrarily, let everybody in the ministry go away.
What are we do today? Today, I will lift up my voice in praise. Oh, yeah, oh, what I know, you are always there for me. Yeah. Oh, my God, oh, you are my only Lord. Forever when they say, what are we do today? Today, oh.
Àtisẹ́tẹ́, àti ń parọ́ tipẹ́, àtisẹ́tẹ́, òtítọ́ òdìmú òdodo òsì mọ́, àtisẹ́tẹ́, kágbádé fáláre, àtisẹ́tẹ́, kágbẹ̀bí fáláre, àtisẹ́tẹ́, adájọ́ ń parọ́ torí owó, àtisẹ́tẹ́, òtìlú ń parọ́ nítorí ipò, àtisẹ́tẹ́, èdò gbówó ń tẹ́, àtisẹ́tẹ́.
Ogunyeye. Somebody said it's not Ogunlewe. It's Ogunyeye. Old man was advising the young people to learn from another old man in the Ministry of Youth. Because by culture, the youth will not respect themselves, but they will respect an old man. Did you understand? And, I mean, cringy to watch, right? How did you feel? Somebody said, whose papa be this? Now them be that. Our elders, you have to learn from them. Learn what? How to steal? Is that not the only thing you will learn from them? Incompetence and irresponsibility. That's what you're going to learn from them. What do you think you're going to learn from these old criminals? Tell me. You, mommy. What do you think you can learn from them? How to manipulate the constitution, the law. How to, snatch it, grab it, and run with it. How to get a